Hey, this would be episode 2, the main character podcast. The main man, of course, Fly Guy Kai, aka the captain, aka the main character in all of this. Because I bought the equipment to do it, okay? Man. Why I feel like talking today? Because now I get a chance to just, make videos, do what it do. Um, let's see. The whole Drake and Kendrick thing, it's kind of exhausting. Something comes out, everybody goes with some type of narrative. Another thing comes out, everybody goes with a narrative. You praise Kendrick for something, you glazing. You praise Drake for something, you glazing. You don't know hip hop, this and that. Like, dog, I'm not gonna hold you. I so out of the three, J. Cole is still up there. I don't care what you say. He may not have gone against Kendrick the way y'all fucking wanted him to, like, do the most with beef. Pause. Crazy. But still, come on, man. Um, still gonna listen to music. You can't take away Drake's music from me. I've been listening to Drake since uh you know what's the dope thing about this? I'm checking stuff in real time because I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not one of them people that gotta fake like I looked up something later on. I'm cool with just looking up stuff in real time. I'm gonna go through his discography. Matter of fact, that's what we gonna do. I'm gonna tell you right now. Um, Disabled veteran status, Hundo, Huncho, and all that. Um, Drake's discography. Yo, ask me to spell discography for $1,000,000. I promise you. Am I going to get it? Nah. Nah. I can't lie to you. We'll go over the whole discography, dog. And I don't even think they not putting everything. Ooh, room for improvement. Yeah. Nah, there was a comeback season. Comeback season was my shit. There we go. When he had the little Abercrombie and Fitch fucking the pretty much what they say all light skinned people look like. He had the long overcoat. It was fall in the back. October's very own comeback season. Smart shit. Replacement girl. Come on. Hold on. We would go down this list. Comeback season. Replacement girl. Closer. City is mine. City is mine goes hard. Going there for life. Innocent of the Barry Bonds freestyle. Let me see where to now. Don't you have a man? The last hope. Bitch is crazy. Give you do what you do what I do, you do what. Yeah. Now, listen, I've been sticking with Drake for a minute. Especially the. Nah, I don't want to see any more about that shit. Come on. The one thing about Google, sometimes it be fucking up, and that kind of gets on my nerves. I'm looking for one particular album cover because if it was from Room for Improvement, then I really been because it has some of the same shit. Thriller's gone. All right, since 2006. Damn. Come winter was my shit. Even with a little switch up in it. Uh, Kick Push remix. Make things right. Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. Good, yeah. City is mine. Dun, 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 dun. Yo, that's yo. I do a whole listening thing if YouTube, I mean, purpose reasons like copyright. You can't just be blasting somebody's music on your video because then all right, niggas will just record it and get it for the free ski. Even though people are getting it for the free ski out here anyway, but you won't catch me like that. All right. Drake in 2006. I'll tell you right now, I ain't started listening to J. Cole until I was in Korea around 2000. When do we? Because I remember somebody, I had just downloaded that shit. I want to say 2010. And I went back to his mixtapes, his album that he seemingly didn't like for a reason, because let me put the mic closer. Pause. Whew. Yo, listen, I'm on timing when it comes to that. Oh, you're not catching me in no type of clip. But nah, J. Cole had his J. Cole didn't co-roll the sideline story. You see such a difference between the sideline story and the Born, was it Born Center? It had to be Born Center. Yeah. You see a difference between sideline story and Born Center, because Born Center was like sideline story. It was like he was just trying to do the whole rapper type thing. And then he started getting more into his bag with Born Center, and then really into it with Forest Hills Drive. I think that was the one where it was like, yo, if they like this, I could climb over this hill and just be me on the rest of the way. The warm up, you can't tell me the warm up wasn't fire. The come up, you can't tell me the come up wasn't fire. Friday Night Lights, like that song Young Simba, the not the freestyle, the song he did over Dead Presidents was fire. Yo, let me stop playing, look at the track list. Simba, School Days, Throw It Up, College Boy, Carolina on My Mind. That Dollar on a Dream, that the fact that that's his motto too, that's a good motto, dog. Got a dollar in a dream, that's all a nigga got. So if it's about the cream, then I'm all up in the I got a dollar in the dream. And yeah, come up, the warm up, Friday Night Lights. Like that. My thing, I be trying to figure out what people mean by puts you to sleep. Oh, J. Cole, I just can't listen. I used to always hear that shit like, oh, J. Cole's this and that. I just can't. Like, yo, come on. J. Cole not what? He ain't gonna give you songs that's good. He's giving you hip hop, so apparently it wasn't people that was trying to listen to hip hop. They were just trying to listen to some ignorant shit. That's what, man, it's put me to sleep, dog. How? It's just certain, they'll cape for certain artists, and then for others, they'll just completely trash them like they're not good or something. J. Cole don't want to. J. Cole don't feel like battling somebody that he knew for a long time, and that even if, say, J. Cole and Kendrick were to say they were having some kind of beef, how mid would that be? They literally live the same exact kind of life, except J. Cole is just seen out more because he does more features, he does more shit. And the knock against Kendrick sometimes, which I mean, J. Cole said it because he was trying to think of anything. He was like, dog, I'm not trying to get in a personal life, but y'all mid. He had to throw out something like that, which it was just like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have put it out there, but at the same time, what else can you say? That's his people's. And if people was like, oh man, he ain't go head to head with nobody, he been doing good on these features. Like that's his idea of head to head. Like, nah, we both gonna get on a song and who gonna write the better verse? That was his idea of competition. You trying to like pick on shit until it gets personal, and then you guys go personal. That's the beef that everybody want. This Drake and Kendrick shit, that's what everybody wanted. And then once the shit go really south, you gonna hear people do the same thing in every type of beef that comes up. Oh, I didn't want it to. Man, they didn't have to take it that far. They could have kept it on wax. No, like, nah, y'all keep pushing these niggas to do shit like this, and it's for what? Come on. it's part of rap history. It's part of hip hop to be angry with niggas and be. I guess not. Fuck out of here. But nah, I'm still stick with J. Cole. The only thing I could argue is that For Your Eyes Only, even though For Your Eyes Only got like 2 or 3 songs max that I really fuck with, everything else was just like, oh, okay. Like this is one of those like like passion, like something you just wanted to do like deep down. He was like, all right, I'll throw this out there. Even KOD to an extent, KOD had some like upscale shit that was still good. It's not putting you to sleep though. Like, come on. Stop it. And that might delete later. He still didn't take the song off. He still didn't take the this off. But it still was like one of those things where it's like it's a good shot. But again, that would have been a mid-ass back and forth, and at most it would have been like 2 songs, and it would have been like, yo, this is stupid, and probably made songs together again. Because I wouldn't, especially with the way that Cole is, I wouldn't have seen it come to anything else. So no. Kendrick Lamar EP. Nobody was listening to that. C4, nobody was listening to that. That Untitled, Unmastered, I dare somebody to tell me that they like Untitled Remastered. I dare you, and then that's how you know this definition of glazing. That's how you know somebody's glazing. Right there. Either they're glazing or they're just following a trend of like, yo, what's trendy? Let me be on Kendrick's side if they didn't listen to Overly Dedicated or Section 80. That's it. And when did Overly Dedicated? 2010? I didn't start listening to Kendrick until I got to Japan back in 2011. Yeah, back in 2000. I want to say towards the end of 2011, beginning of 2012. Cause I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of like, okay, Kendrick is dope. And then when that Good Kid, Mad City came out though, fire, absolute. I played that for the gym. I played that in the dorm when I was just chilling. Why my shit look lopsided, dog? Listen, I pick my shit out to the best of my ability, and then I keep it moving. Like the forehead going forehead. Overly Dedicated, Growing Apart, Opposites Attract, Ignorance is Bliss, because ignorance is bliss. Now everybody put your hands up. Through the barbed wire. Nah, yeah, She Needs Me. Average Joe. Yo, see? I don't know why I just like stick straight to the like straight to the like the first one that came out. But this is like because some of these I haven't listened to in a while. Side note, I understand. You remember riding in the car? Probably not. I'm 33, about to be 34. God willing. But remember when like maybe if you could like maybe using like your grandparents' car, like an older relative, and they would listen to like AM radio instead of FM. You'd be like, yo, you're just listening to somebody talk on the radio. Now we got podcasts. That's our AM radio. So now you understand. It's like, yo, you've listened to these songs, right? I've listened to a whole bunch of these songs so many times. Like once I play it, I could play it for a good minute. Be like, all right, I know how to rest this. I know how to rest this. I know how to rest this. Like sometimes you just fast forward this. Like, dog, I just want to listen to something else. And then that's where AM be coming in. Like niggas be talking, but you like to hear the topics that they talk about. And there you go. To Pimp a Butterfly. What was funny was, yo, you can't fool me. 2015, I remember when Pimp a Butterfly came out. And I was like, okay, all right. Everybody. Don't give me that shit. Who's everybody? You know who everybody is. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever shit you want to call it. They weren't really talking about To Pimp a Butterfly like that. I guarantee you. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I really want to. I don't want this. Uh, where's my iTunes at? Did I download that shit on here? I probably didn't. This a. It's not a super new computer, but it's a new computer, and it's starting to irritate me too. Nah, come on, fam. Here we go. Yeah, nah. To Pimp a Butterfly, it has some good tracks on it, but I think back like in the past 5 years. Did you hear anybody say, "Yo, put on that To Pimp a Butterfly"? No. You listening to that while you riding around at night, or if you're in the gym? Probably not. If you said "damn," sure. Missed around the big steppers. Don't lie to me. Missed around the big steppers. And I tell you what, and they was giving him shit for having that, for having Kodak on there because Kodak was doing all that silly shit. But Mr. Around the Big Steppers had a good four tracks on it, and that one I definitely like had Kodak in it. I was like, yeah, that's probably like a stripper joint of the Steppers toilet. People were definitely shitting on Mr. Around the Big Steppers, but it is what it is at that point. Music takes a good side note. I want to know, right? Because this ain't like camp against camp, but TDE versus Dreamville. Because I got favorites on both. Because JID and Boss are my top picks. Besides, of course, besides J. Cole, of course, but yeah, JID is that second up because his shit's cold. My boy raps, and Boss is cool to me. Like you won't see him like stick out like super like a stick out, but he be rapping, he be vibing, he be cool. So that's my shit. Is Earth Gang under Dream? Yeah, Earth Gang got me too. And TDE, Isaiah Rashad always. I listen to what was that? Burn the House Down. I listen to Burn the House Down while I'm in the gym. Fire. That's trash for whoever leaked that shit. That you know what I mean? He got caught in a little, you know what I mean? A little love is love with the same. But it was like somebody was really trying to get him out for that. They're like, damn, dog. As soon as he releases his album, everything's supposed to be cool. Then that video come out, y'all trying to like, oh, just Hollywood shit look evil. Isaiah Rashad, of course, Schoolboy Q. Um, man, oh, I'm tripping because I gotta look at some. Um, you black lip bastard, Absol. Or Absol too. Even though people really don't talk about Absol like that, people lie if they're saying they do. You'll hear like niche people that come out. They're like, "No, I talk about Absol." It's a small minority, but Absol is still. I'll be part of that small minority that says Absol. I'll admit it. Like I'll talk to you about Absol, but again, it's a small minority of people out of TDE that they'll talk about because SZA's up there too. SZA over um SZA over Lennox. And is that all I wanted to? That's really all I wanted to talk about with music. Like I said, I try to switch it up. Like I'm I'm an anime type dude. I keep shaking the fucking camera. That's my fault. I'm an anime type dude, video game type dude, geek stuff, if you will. I think my TV cut off. No, it didn't. But I do like to talk about music every now and then. But honestly, I don't, because of how Drake and Kendrick is like now it's starting to make talking about music kind of corny for the most part. So switch gears to anime talk. Anime talk. Right now, Kaiju number 8 is fire. That opening is fire. If I Nah, I won't let me show it because you try to record a video or something, they'll be like, "Oh no, we noticed that you're recording a video, so we won't show you watching it." Trash. And plus, I'm trying to figure out how to have stuff play. Like I'm recording this, right? So the only sound that gets in is through this mic. But if I wanted to, mm, I want to say if I wanted to like shoot this as a video and be like, "Oh look, I'm watching this" or something, and I want to record that sound, you would only hear it coming out the computer and having to be caught on this mic. I'm a novice when it comes to this. I promise you. Let me get like 20 episodes in. I'll get it. Um, but nah, switch it to anime talk. Like I said, Kaiju number 8. Kaiju number 8. I've seen people discuss it, but I didn't want to ruin it for myself, so I didn't read the manga. Sometimes, if an anime is coming out and they do have a manga, why would I go read the manga if the anime is coming out? Mind you, it's good. It's good to read the manga maybe like when the season's done. So you can read up to it and see like what the differences are. I don't want to read the manga and then it's something to where it's like, oh man, all right, cool. I can't wait for this to be animated because then you'd be waiting forever. Or you won't watch it. Like you read the manga, you be like, man, I already know what happens. I don't need to watch it. Come on. It takes the fun away from looking at it for the first time. Like Kaiju number 8, I knew the guy. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. But the guy transformed into the kaiju. I knew that. I didn't know the side characters. Like I didn't know he's gonna be cool with one of the side characters. I didn't know that what else? I didn't know he was cool with the girl. I'm never gonna remember names of the first time because I'm horrible with names. I just my memory doesn't work like that anymore. Not like a serious like thing, but just it doesn't work like that. But his homegirl from back in the day, she's a badass. He got to catch up, but he's got this transformation going on. Like that. First of all, having an opening like that is fire. Even the closing song is cool, but the whole premise of like, yo, he's trying to be in it while also being he's trying to be in that kaiju elimination force while also having the power to turn into a kaiju. So now he has to do this double life where he's there, and then if a problem gets out of hand, which he's kind of weak at everybody, so it always will, he's got to find a way to have a group of people to where they'll cover for him when he goes to transform and actually take care of the business and then come back. And then he can just say, like, oh yeah, I'm the weakest. Nah, they did it. They did all this with teamwork. So I think that's what's gonna happen too, because old girl with the ponytails, that's like the best among all the recruits. I feel like I don't want anybody to ruin it. Just be like, oh, that's cool or something. I feel like the girl with the ponytails, she's 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 like, yo, this nigga was super weak. But then you see that he has the power to turn into a kaiju and he's actually taking care of business better than you can. However, he's so weak that he doesn't want the secret coming out because then they'll come after him and do, you know how people do. Once they see somebody special, they want to do a whole bunch of experiments on them until they die. That's pretty much it. Newsflash for anybody out there that has superpowers, if that exists, don't tell anybody. I'm sorry that has to be said, but don't tell anybody. Like if I were to ever get superpowers, I'm not telling a soul. I promise you, I'm not telling a soul. I'm just gonna wear a mask or some type of disguise, and then that's gonna be it. because either you're gonna let it slip out, something bad might happen down the way, and it's like, oh man, since I'm not cool with this dude no more, I'm getting ready to tell his secret, and then I gotta come after you because I'm keeping my secret. I'm gonna come after you. That's the thing. You can't trust family because you know family. You know if you tell your mother something, she tell everybody, and you thought like this was like you like your mother or your father. Majority of the time, it's your mother. She gonna let that blab out. Then everybody gonna they come ask you questions about it. You're like, damn, how'd you know that? Oh, nah, your mom said it. If you were to have superpowers, yo, imagine being Batman and your parents are alive. Okay. First off, you kind of got problems because his whole justification, like, my parents died. Damn, I don't want anybody else to feel like this. Like, you just being Batman off the strength. Get one of them jackets, buddy. One of them jackets that make you hold yourself tight. But imagine being Batman and you like, you know what? I don't want to keep this secret anymore. I want to include my family. Let me, you know what I mean? Let me include them too. You tell your mom, hey, you know that guy that was jumping all over Rouge, you know what I mean? Kicking ass every now and again, putting fear in criminals' hearts. You know, people hate him, people love him. That's me, I'm Batman. Oh man, Batman, like, but you can't tell anybody. Oh, okay, bet. Bet $1 billion, $1 trillion. Your mother gonna tell your grandmother, she's gonna tell your aunts and uncles, other relatives outside the family, and maybe a close friend or two that you're Batman. And she's gonna say, hey, don't tell anybody. What do you think they're gonna do? They're going to go out there and tell people. That's it. That's just the nature. That's why you can't tell anybody that you have superpowers unless it is another person. You know how in Hollywood people date other Hollywood people because they know, like, they're used to that same environment. They know the ins and outs, and then they have like the same type of status going on. Yo, give me superpowers. I'm not telling a soul unless it's somebody I'm cool with that also has superpowers. You understand we both have something to lose and we both have something to gain, and we're in this small group. You can't talk to a regular therapist. That's why they probably didn't go to therapy. Most of the superheroes, unless they had in DC, what was it? That time in Young Justice when they were going to Black Canary for therapy, it got to be somebody that's experienced in it. You can't just be a therapist. You have to be a super therapist because you had to been out there kicking ass too, and then you come back, and then you have that. Damn, I lost my parents at a young age to a supervillain. She goes, "Oh yeah, I remember. I had that same feeling, like that type of thing." They don't go to therapy like that. It's nuts. I lost my concentration. I'm gonna do that a lot, but I'm still gonna be on track in some way. Um, I still got really dedicated pulled up. Oh, but yeah, card number 8. I feel like he's just whenever he beats ass, he's gonna go with her on the same team as well as his homeboy. So that way, whenever he takes care of a kaiju that seems like he's underqualified to take it out, but she's there, he can say, "Yo, I provided backup. We provided backup for her, and she took care of business." So it's gonna propel her while he still gets to do the same job of just being, I don't know, being in the actual squad. Um, I'm keeping real with you. I am using Microsoft Clipchamp, and for some reason, they only give you 30 minutes to record on this at a time. So when it switches and it looks a little like cut up, then that's because I had to go back and hit record again, second video, and clip these joints together and edit them. When I get good, I'm going to put like when the time runs out, I'm gonna have that like you know how they had Full Metal Alchemist when he went to break? It was like Full Metal Alchemist. And then when it came back, it was Full Metal Alchemist. And it had a little picture, and then it would come back to the show. I'm probably gonna start doing that. But for now, I'm just gonna say it's gonna cut to the next one. The main character podcast. yo, when I set that up, it's gonna be fire. Okay, it's gonna be fire. Um, but yeah, talking about kaiju number 8. Free Run ended this You can probably hear the creaking in my chair. That shit's crazy. It's a new chair too. It does that. But Free Run just ended. Free Run just ended a month ago. That's my top 10. I already explained like my top 10 pretty much with the main characters I choose and my the little opening thumbnail I do for my like podcast show thing. Free Run was fire. Free Run all the way through fire. Exception with old buddy that was kind of like the priest. He was like the cleric or something. But even to that extent, that was cool. Like this Free Run was, if you don't like Free Run, I could understand that you may have an attention span problem. Not dissing you or anything. A lot of these anime, like anime from, I can't believe I gotta say it every time I do say it. Anime from back in the day. This is nuts, dog. I'm only 33, man. Uh, anime from back in the day, right? It would have these long stories, like these actual plots, and the plots wouldn't get revived. Wouldn't get some of the plots wouldn't get resolved for a minute, but there wasn't too much action in some of these. Some of these, it was just legit world building, character building. Um, it was just getting introductions to the characters. Then you might have a little fight, and then it's back to talking. It's back to, so yeah. That was my thing, kind of with Trigun. I explained it before, like in the first episode. I did something on TikTok called 5 on Anime. So my thing is, I give it, if you go watch a new anime, or maybe ones that people recommended, give it 5 episodes. I know it's hard sometimes when you get to like the third episode, you be like, damn, this ain't it. I'm telling you, give it 5 episodes, and I promise you, 5 episodes, you'll have a better understanding of whether or not it's worth to keep watching, or if it's something you're still interested in. Even if you like, you're like, damn, third episode, like I'm already hooked in, like that's cool. I'm saying give it 5 episodes. If you're already there, this is more so for the people that would give up at episode 3 or episode 4. Give it to a 5. But yeah, I did that with what did I rewatch? I watched Mobile Fighter G Gundam, which was cool. Would I continue watching it? Yeah, I continue watching it, but it's not on my like high ass criteria. Gurren Lagann, no, not Gurren Lagann. Code Geass. Code Geass is always a watch. Some of these I rewatch too. Like that was a rewatch. I was trying to go in that pattern of like either I didn't watch it all the way, and one that I did watch all the way, or just I watched both of them all the way. Like I did Samurai Champloo, which of course those 5 episodes, like it's still like there's storytelling in a couple of those, but there's still action too, and it gets you hooked in. I just did Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach because they're in my top 10. Like I was like, yeah, give it 5 episodes, you'll get into it. The Trigun one, that was losing me. That was losing me from episode 2 to episode 4. I was just like, dog, this is boring. I'm falling asleep. It kind of, so it went cool. You're establishing Vash and Stampede. These people from like the insurance agency, Marilyn Millie come in, and then it's just like, it was just like a downhill thing. It was just like, this is dragging on. Picked up a little bit in episode 4, and then episode 5, it was kind of like the reverse diagram for storytelling. You know, a story, they'd be like, oh, the introduction, then it's like rising action, climax, falling action, and then the conclusion. This one, it was just like, yo, intro, falling action, falling action, falling action, rising action. Yeah. Trust me, give it 5 episodes. I'm gonna start doing it on here. I just gotta make I do the thumbnails myself. So I just gotta draw a different thumbnail for 5 on Anime. And that could be because what I was doing on TikTok, I was doing the anime in like 2 different videos. A 10-minute video on TikTok for one, 10-minute on the other. It was cool, you know, man, I got my followers up, but my thing is, and of course the normal thing is when people get on TikTok, it's channel surfing. That's why people, these are the people that TikTok today, these are the equivalent to people back in the 90s who had just got Dish TV, or like the early 2000s. You just got Direct TV, and they gave you like, it's more than just 45 channels like the normal cable box. You got like 500 channels. Some of them are HD versions, some of them are like 10 different types of ESPNs, and they're just like flip, 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 flip. TikTok is that. Flip, 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 flip. Let me see what they're talking about. Flip, 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 flip. It gives them something to do. So my mistake was, and somebody pointed out that it was like, yo, you got cool content. Some of the videos are just like a little too drawn on. So I'd be like, all right, I see. Plus, you can see like where people flip off at. And you be like, damn, you ain't even want to hear everything I had to say. But luckily, I do it for the. I was doing it for me, tell you the truth. Like I was doing it for me and like to put people on. Even if I put one or two people onto an anime they didn't watch and they needed a little bit of convincing, then I pretty much did my job. And I did that a couple of times. But yeah, I was doing 10-minute videos on there. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna start bringing it over here. Give it like a good 20-minute to 30-minute segment about the episodes, or just give it a 30-minute segment and just watch the five, because I can watch the five in one sitting. I really got all the time in the world. Watch the five in a sitting. Watch the other five in a sitting. Come on here and talk about it. But what other anime? I was saying Free Run is dope as fire. Even the action when it gets to a part, the meme that you'll see if you look it up, the Free Run meme, where old buddy just like, I may be out of mana, but I'm not out of options. That was one of the coldest moments in Free Run, because and it's like a spoiler alert, but you don't know exactly when it gets there, so it's kind of, I'm not gonna tell you the name of the person. You'll see the guy's like, he looks like an older kind of guy, but it was just a segment where he needed something. There was like one of those like tournament arcs, and one of it was a test where you had to get something completed, and he was out of mana, and he's seen a couple of people that were down on their luck, and pretty much was like, nah, we need what they got. And buddy next to him was just like, dog, we don't have any mana, what do you expect us to do? Man, my man started rolling up his sleeves. He said, listen, man, we gotta do what we gotta do. Yeah. Plus, he looked at the other. He's like, "Yo, can't you see them? They're tired and exhausted too. They don't got no mana neither, so they're gonna have to throw the ones, just like we throw the ones." And what's crazy is, old buddy, I gotta remember if he had the bird or not, but old buddy understood the assignment. It was no words. The person the old man was trying to go fight just stood up, got to it. Yo, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be my top 10. And sure enough, it was my top 10. I don't even know what I had in the top 10 before I put Free Run there in that 10 spot. I'm trying to think, because I don't know what I put before I watched Iron Blooded Orphans. I had watched that 2 years ago, and that shit came out back in like 2015. Because honestly, Gundam for me, I wasn't the biggest on Gundam, but I was like, you know what? Let me give it a chance. And giving that a chance, and it just kept getting me to the point where like, it's one of those, only two anime, I can admit that too. Two anime made me like shed a couple tears. It was Naruto Shippuden and Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans. Because what happens at the end to the second in command? What happens in command to a good chunk of the main characters, but the second in command, definitely. You can't name me a better second in command unless you're arguing with me about Zoro. That's the number two. But that one and Naruto Shippuden, because at the end, spoiler alert for an anime that came out and finished years ago. I'm not gonna say years because it was definitely years ago. That ending part where you need parents to, be there for the wedding that he got married to Hinata. And he asked Iruka Sensei if he could be like that father figure. Because if Jiraiya was there, he would ask Jiraiya to like attend, but Iruka Sensei, even though he knew what Naruto was and what he had inside of him, still taught him, still was trying to guide him and keep him from being like, to the best of his ability, he was really trying to keep a hard-headed kid in line. And he never stopped believing in him. And then for Naruto to come up, it was just like, hey man, can you be like, yo, Sensei. Yo, son. Walked up and was just like, hey man, can you know what I mean? Can you be my parent in this? It was just like, damn, like yo, he was cheering him on from the time he was swinging on swing sets by himself to like him going to save the village to like now where he's a grown man and he just like comes in just like yo, like you was there the entire way. Kakashi taught us some stuff cool. Yamato showed up, he helped out a little bit. Jiraiya taught me some things and even knew my father, but you, like when the third hold me and it was just feeding me ramen packets, like that was supposed to give me nourishment. When nobody wanted to say that I was a nine-tailed fox for some plot reason, because if this is the fourth son and the fourth was that guy, y'all should treat his child like royalty. And he wouldn't have been a miscreant. If anything, he would have grew up like Boruto. And he would have been disgusting. But, I mean, in the long run, whatever. But still, the fact that he went from that to being always lonely to now everybody loving him just like he said he would. And then he's just like, yo, you the person that had my back from day one. You was with me shooting in the gym. Can you be my father in this situation as I've always looked for you? I was just like, yeah, he's got some. Sometimes it gotta happen, man. Listen, if you don't cry at some of these anime, come on. You're not right. You're not watching the right anime, dog. You're not watching the right thing that gets you right there. But yeah, when I talk of attention spans, that's why I can't put, I can't put nothing like this on TikTok because I gotta make like 50 videos, and that should be eating up my memory space. I don't know why it just does. So let's see. I talk about music for a bit. Talked about anime. Go Loser Rangers. Go Loser Rangers was getting ready to lose me until you start to learn a little bit more in the concept, where it's almost a flip to now the Rangers are seemingly, you could tell by how eerie it was, but the Rangers are seemingly like not the boys, but Power Rangers. That's how I describe it. The boys, but Power Rangers. What other anime am I looking at? I don't think I'm looking at any other anime right now. Of course, My Hero came back. I haven't watched that yet, and that's one of the things where I read the manga. I'm up on the manga until right now, where something crazy is going on. And the climax, I mean, the conclusion is really getting ready to hit. So that's why I don't have to rush to go see My Hero Academia. But then that's bad for like if they need ratings or something, or they need the numbers to come back to see who's watching it. So it's a lose-lose. No, it's a win-win. It's a whatever at this point. Let me see. My Hero, JJK's done. JJK's blowing up crazy in the manga too. I don't know how the fuck. Yo, manga talk. I don't know how they're going to pull that off against this nigga, Sukuna. Sukuna is him. When it comes to villains and like, oh man, someone's gonna step in and kill him eventually. No. Yo, Sukuna is getting rid of people left and right. That was the wrong direction, but don't worry about it. You get it. But left and right, like, dog, he's whipping ass. And Yuji coming back like, hey, I got this power up. Bam, get out of here. I got another power up. Bam, get out. I hit you with 7 black fascists. Don't care, get out. Like, yo, it's going to be the point where if Yuji wins or somebody wins, it's gonna look like an ass pull because you're setting Sukuna up to be the most powerful person that shouldn't be beat. Not that it can't be beat, that shouldn't be beat. Because logically, he's kicking ass on a different scale. But man, I can't. That's when, like, even though I'm up on the man, I can't wait for them to animate it because they do a good job of animation. Boruto, when it gets people shit on Boruto, but I hung in there with Boruto. There's too many damn fillers, I will admit that, but otherwise than that, Boruto, especially right now, Boruto's heating up. He came back with that sauce, he came back with that fit on. He had that shit on, and he came back. He's shaking up the world, literally. A Rasengan that uses the Earth's rotation. Y'all don't understand how fast that is. Because the Earth is spinning. It takes 24 hours for that, for this 20, what is it, like 23 point, whatever scientific term. You keep shrinking the size of the world and it's like spinning like this, and it starts getting smaller, it starts spinning like this, and then it starts picking up super quick. Barto got it. And they say, yo, he got this. Not only does he have that power from, I'm gonna call them the chakra gods, power from the chakra gods within him, and he has that whole transformation. But he also has chakra control, and he's got that. He's got that eye. He got that evil eye, that stink eye. No, but hmm, that's good tea. He's what's that? That dojutsu. He's got that. The Rasengan shit he already mastered. Like he's him. And the way they had Kawaki and Baruto facing off when they're like the Hokage Mount Rushmore was being destroyed or something, and they had that big stare down. I don't see how Kawaki is much of a menace because Baruto is sunning him every chance he gets. He's sunning a lot of people. He's just him. But yeah, I can't wait to see that get animated. What else? What else? What else? What else? I think that's it for as far as what I'm really looking for. I just started watching Delicious in Dungeon, and that was cold. I wasn't gonna watch it because I was like, all right, it's an anime about somebody eating in a dungeon. These things are getting out of hand. At first, I thought it was gonna be another isekai with a long ass chapter name, but I started watching. It was like, okay, old buddy lost his stuff. He got to get back in there, but he needs food and he needs his supplies as he's going back through to save like his sister, and they don't got money like that, so they got to find a way to eat the monsters, and they get a book and somebody that helps them. The thing that got me was the suit. There's always a moving suit with nobody in it. Video games, fantasy, straight from Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm gonna talk about soon. Usually it's just inanimate objects that are given like a simple command. Don't let anybody in this tomb or in this room to the greatest extent of your ability. And the armor usually comes to life, does its job until either the job is done or they get destroyed. But in Delicious in Dungeon, they had it to where it was smaller creatures that seemingly were like a community inside of the armor. Whenever there's armor, there's always like these certain creatures that get in there and they have like this community of them. And the creatures, to move the armor and defend themselves, they all communicate together. So it's like creatures, like muscle creatures that like come in and like become the muscle fibers needed to make the armors move. So they were cooking that. They were cooking. I think they were cooking like slime monsters. Like yeah, one of the dudes, like if you know where to cut them at, then you can cook some slime monsters up. And they was taking moss, and I'm like, damn, this is actually kind of cold. It might turn out to be something. I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm literally only at episode like 2 or 3, but I'm gonna keep watching that one. Nothing else I'm looking forward to. And then what else? I don't want to get too heavy handed with like like the world topics. You know what I mean? But let's just say the stuff that's going on overseas is really not it. Like I'm not gonna get in the whole thing of like saying too much, just that is not it. Like, can we topic shift? Can we as a world thrive without war? Because I don't know if that's possible. Like, if there's always somebody that wants something from someone, and they'll go to the greatest extent of their ability to take it if they don't have it themselves. And then the other person is not going to let them get that to the fullest extent of themselves. Conflict. Big conflict is war. Like, can we thrive without war? I don't know. Are we just people meant to keep fighting, or like, can we're and it's I want us to become unified and not under no like super great disaster. Like, we need to become unified off the strength of ourselves. Most of the time in movies and shit like that, it's usually like something crazy has to happen in order for people to come together and unify. It's not it. But I don't know how we're gonna thrive without that type of conflict. People be making stupid money off of it. The inventors that just keep making different weapons and different ways to get rid of people, and I don't know. Hmm. All right, let's try to do a different topic shift. Um, Writing, because I just want to do like back to back 30 minutes to get to like an hour to get comfortable. But writing, so the thing that I wanted to do or I started doing is I like card games. I don't go out to the like competitions or nothing like that, but I will watch it on YouTube or something. I like card games. I've always liked them since Pokemon, since Yu-Gi-Oh. I've collected Duel Masters, Zatch Bell, Magic the Gathering right now. I just started Pokemon again. Something called Flesh and Blood. Digimon to an extent. The new Bandai Dragon Ball Z cards that came out, I started collecting those too. One for like, they'll be rare eventually, but they're also cool to have. And two, the lore in some of those. Like, not Dragon Ball Z Digimon per se, but Magic the Gathering, because Magic the Gathering follows so closely to Dungeons and Dragons. I like magic and fantasy type stories. When I write, I always go back to magic and fantasy type stuff and comic book type stuff. But I mean, depending on what type of comic book you write, it's magic and fantasy either way. But I'm working on one, and I'm getting inspiration. I started getting inspiration from Magic the Gathering, because Magic the Gathering, the 5 different colors that mean something in each one. So people that align to it usually rock with that card color. It's like a war going on between 5 of the civilizations, which Duel Masters did the same thing. Different civilizations, different elements, and they were all fighting for something. Um, and excuse me, the lore behind it, the way that the cards are, like the flavor text they have, it kind of helps me to think about like me for my. I'll just talk about the fantasy one I made called Cultrum Tales. I created 6 different races. Of course, you're gonna have like your human, your elven type race, but then I created 4 different races from that also, which tie into elements in a certain way. And I started to build this whole key, like map and key, to a point where if I make a certain character, I just got to draw lines to see exactly how they'll turn out as far as like the basic stuff, like their attribute stats, like how strong are they, how much power do they have, are they intelligent, what's their wisdom level, what kind of elements do they use, and it's like, of course, what race, but what type of region are they from, or what type of kingdom do they represent. You got to represent. And now that I'm getting to that point, I'm trying to get out of the character building phase and the world building phase. But it's just so fun to the point where like I know the story. I know the beginning and the end, because there's 4 characters I want to focus on to tell like 4 different stories. inside of how coaching works. But I know the beginning, I know the end. It's the journey that I have to write out. Because I can say something like, oh, this person wants to become a knight, but they suck. That's the beginning. The end would be this person throughout all odds found a way to become a knight and not suck. That's the end. The journey to get there is what I'm having trouble with exactly mapping out the way I want to. Struggles of a writer. I'm gonna get it done though. I promise. I'm gonna get it done. I got like 16 different types of stories. Four of them take, like I said, four of them take place in Cultrum. Another four take place in like, I like comics, so I'm trying to do like my own comic book thing, not drawing or nothing, but because I can't draw anymore like I used to. But as far as writing it, I have that going on. So there's like four different stories in there. I feel like two different video game ones. I got one about space. I got two about the supernatural. I have two that deal with science, like technology, science and technology. The space one is the only real sci-fi one. No, it's not. Oh snap! I forgot about that. Because I have one where I based it off of those scientists out there that are like crashing atoms and shit together to try and see if they can get a certain particle, and I put a spin on it. I'm creative. I just got to get the writings out there. But yeah, I started using Magic the Gathering as an influence, and like I'm having fun to the point where I started looking at Gwent. If you know Gwent, it was like a small like side thing in The Witcher. That was a card game that turned into an actual card game, but they kind of fucked it up. And when they had the app in the game for it, they stopped. But I started looking at Gwent. I started looking at Duel Masters again. Even how Zatch Bell, the card game, was working. And the way that these things work and they operate helped me to like, it's almost like I'm creating my own card game. I don't want to do that. There's so much into that. I don't want to do that. I just want to get it to the point where it's like, okay, why do they put this attack level, this defense level, locations? Are locations important, or can I just say like Magic the Gathering, the what is it for? It's mountains, right? There's a land cards. One of the land cards is just mountains, mountains, and just has pictures of just random mountains. And in Chaotic, which is another one, I gotta have a sec. I'll talk about that in a different one. Segment about card games. I could probably talk about that today. I'm gonna give y'all 2 hours. I'm not, but Chaotic has it different. Just like Yu-Gi-Oh has it different. Yu-Gi-Oh has land cards, but they're just like something you happen to draw and just put it on there. Magic the Gathering, you need those in order to sacrifice to use mana. Chaotic has land cards, but it's on a turn basis of who will use what land, and the lands have an effect for certain types of creatures, or you have to reach a um certain type of goal or something on there. And then it affects all the other creatures. So I started doing that research to the point where it's like I'm almost creating my own card game. Like I said, I don't want to, but it's helping me to create my characters. And then listen, if I happen to, just know I'll be the first Black person to make their own card game. Know what I mean? That'll be nice though. But yeah, that story writing. Is an hour good? An hour is good. Yeah. So this is more so me just getting used to doing more videos. Like I'm gonna be doing a lot more videos on YouTube. Um, if I get some more money and I change a little bit of background, just know I'm not changing up. I just happen to change location. um, no, but I'll talk more on a different podcast about my stories about like different stuff like card games and all that. But thank you for watching. I don't have the video yet, but like, subscribe, share parts. I'm gonna try and make them into TikTok videos so I can share them more on TikTok. But thank you, stay fly, and drink water and mind your business.